that it?
Yep, got it.
Okay, so I'm a homeschool teacher, and at our co-op, teaching a computer class to high schoolers. And one of the first things I went over with them was email etiquette. And I think that it has become way too easy to treat email the way we treat text message, like a quick, quick little way to message a few lines, but it really does come across with a different tone and a feel than a text message. So I feel like we really need to get back to treating email almost like the original friendly letter that we all learned when we were in elementary school. And I know it sounds silly to think that we are adults and we need to learn more about email etiquette, but I will say, especially in dealing with my high school students, it has been really nice receiving emails from them after I taught them about a little bit of email etiquette and the friendly letter than it was before when I was getting snippy sounding little emails from them just because they weren't polished. Um, so a few things. This little PDF here is in the drive. It's something that I am sending out to every new agent as they come in, just as a reminder that in the professional world, you need to step it up just a little bit when you're talking to your clients. The first thing is making an effort to check your email every day. Um, Even if you can't respond to your emails, if it's a busy day, it's good to get in the habit of once every 24 hours, even just skim through your email, check in, see if there's anything super important. Sometimes it's okay to send a short email back to say, hey, I'm not able to respond right away, but I wanted you to know that I did get your message. I'll be responding to you within the next however many days depending on what's going on in your life. I think that that's okay, and it helps you to remain professional and they feel like they are heard because we are in a digital world and people do expect a quick response, even when it's not appropriate. Um, Using a professional font, avoid distracting background colors, just make sure it's easy to read. A lot of times when I get quotes from people, I don't know who they are. So I don't know if it's someone that is older and has a hard time seeing the screen or someone with um, visual impairment. So it's just nice to have a professional font that's very clean and concise and doesn't have a lot of distracting background. Another thing that's important is to have a clear, direct subject line. That way, if you're catching someone else on the busy end, if you have a clear, direct subject line, the Story Family, Disney Vacation, they see their name in there. They know that it's not marketing from you. They know that it's important. It's about their vacation. So I do feel strongly about that subject line. Begin with a salutation, just like in your friendly letter. A nice greeting will set the tone for your whole message. Sometimes we're having to deliver disappointing news, and it's nice to just open up with some type of greeting, say something nice. I hope that you're having a great day, or I hope you're enjoying this sunshine that we're having. Just something to greet them and set the tone for your message. Like I said, treat your emails like letters. Don't email the same way that you text. Shorthand can seem very uncomfortable for someone else to read. Um, if you are writing a client, you want to make sure that you are writing in complete sentences. You've double checked your grammar, punctuation, capital letters. You don't want to shorthand or abbreviate things that are common to us as agents that may not be so common to the average person. So you want to spell all of those things out. Now, as you follow up, you can start to um, speak in a little more shorthand, but you just want to make sure that you're being clear. If the content of your email is negative, use a flattery sandwich. Start with something flattering and a positive comment, open with that nice greeting. Send them your request or your complaint in a professional way, and then end with something positive, something that you're grateful for, so that you don't end your emails in a negative way. Avoid exclamation points unless you really mean it, unless they're grammatically correct. Avoid using all caps. It can be perceived as shouting, and most people know that. Avoid sarcasm. Sarcasm is very difficult to decipher in an email, and so unless it's a buddy, you don't want to use sarcasm in an email. You don't want to seem too familiar and risk avoiding someone that you might, that may not know how to really take you as they would if you were speaking to them in person. If something's really sensitive, it's best to just pick up the phone and give them a call. If something can be misunderstood, it's best to just skip the email altogether and give them a phone call or ask to meet them in person. Avoid placing blame or making excuses. This was a big one with my teenagers. Um, a lot of times, we just make a mistake. A lot of times, even if mistakes are mistakes, and we can still own them and say that we're sorry for them. We can say we're sorry for disappointing someone, even though if we do something happens, a mistake was made, whether it's our part or a vendor's part. I think that it's important to own that and recognize that our client is upset, and recognize that their feelings matter, and I'm so sorry this is disappointing. Sometimes I don't get back to people right away, and I own it. I'm so sorry. I should have gotten back to you sooner. But picking up where we left off, I move on. Don't make any excuses. Don't make a big deal about it. It's okay to just be wrong. It's okay to be wrong and say you're sorry and move on. Be clear and specific. Don't assume that your client knows what you're talking about. Like I said before, with abbreviations and nicknames, especially being a travel agent, I have to remind myself to go back and spell out those things that we typically abbreviate when we're talking to each other. When you do send out a message to a client, allow at least 24 hours for them to respond. I get really frustrated when a client reaches out to me and before 24 hours has even passed, they're sending me a text message and a Facebook message asking me if I got their email. Emails are different than text. Give them a minute to respond back to you. Allow at least 24 hours before you check back in. Always end an email with your name. Bonus, if you set up a signature with your business contact information, it'll automatically add it to the end of each of your emails. Google does this for you, and it's super easy. But I end all of my emails has my signature that has Rebecca Marr, Treadway Travel Company, and a link to my estimate. And a lot of times this is just simply good advertisement, because I email people all day long for various things, and it's not always travel related. And very often I have someone will write me back and say, oh, hey, I didn't know you were a travel agent. Can you help me with whatever? And it's good advertisement. And I'm not sending out an email forgetting to add my name at the bottom. I work with a lot of homeschool families, and it's always super frustrating to me when I receive a very demanding email with no greeting, no salutation, no signature at the end, and I don't even know who I'm talking to. So just a few quick little email etiquette tips there for you, and that's what I got.
All right. Thank you so much, Rebecca.